Welcome back to the Simple Cyber Defense podcast, the podcast where we break down cybersecurity concerns in a way everyone can understand. I'm your host, Carl, and today we're diving into two critical topics: the concerns around Allstate Insurance tracking drivers' data and the latest security vulnerabilities uncovered at the Pwn2Own Automotive 2025. So let's get started. Lately, there have been some growing concerns about Allstate Insurance and other insurance companies tracking user data, often through data collecting programs or mobile apps. Here's what you need to know. Allstate primarily collects driver's data through DriveWise program using two things: a mobile app. This app runs in the background collecting data such as location, speed, tracking habits, and time of driving, and through a plug-in device. In some cases, Allstate provides a device that plugs into the vehicle's OBD2 port to track driving behaviors. Some users have reported that the DriveWise app continues to track them even after opting out or installing the app. Data has been collected despite users never being signed up for the program, and the app gathers location and motion data even when it is not actively being used. These allegations raise some significant concerns. There are some privacy violations. If Allstate is tracking users without explicit consent, it could be violating privacy laws in multiple states. And there's also the lack of transparency. Some users were not fully informed about the extent of the data collecting and its usage, and the potential for higher rates. There is a huge concern that Allstate could use this data to increase insurance rates rather than just offering discounts. There's been some reports of other companies doing the same thing here. So Allstate has defended the DriveWise program by stating users must opt in before data collecting begins. Location tracking is used solely for telemetric-based discounts. Users can disable location tracking in their smartphone settings. However, some users claim they were automatically enrolled or found it difficult to opt out. So how would you protect yourself? If you are concerned about the insurance tracking you without your permission, here are some steps you can take. First, check your insurance policy to ensure that you're not enrolled in telemetric program. Second, do a quick Google search to see if other people have reported such tracking without their permissions. You can also disable location permissions in your phone settings while you're driving, or you can even uninstall all apps from your insurance company if you suspect that you're being tracked without authorization. And the last thing is you can contact the customer support for written confirmation that teletracking is not being done and that all tracking is disabled. While telemetrics program can offer discounts for safe driving, concerns over unauthorized tracking and privacy violations remain. If insurers are found to be collecting data without consent, legal and regulatory actions may follow. The biggest thing here is the trust between you and the company. If you do not feel that you can trust the company, I would recommend looking for other insurance companies that are out there that may not be tracking. In this digital age, it's very hard to know when and where you've been tracking, and to have a car insurance company that is supposed to look out for you to do these deceitful things is very concerning, because if Allstate is doing this, who else is doing it too without being known? So the best thing to do is to not opt into these data collecting programs, even if they are offering discounts, and to also be mindful of what apps that you have on your phone, because any amount of collecting of data would be used against you. So it's very important to control what data you give these companies. So next up is the Pwn2Own Automotive 2025. Security researchers uncover critical vulnerabilities in many smart cars. On January 22nd, 2025, at Pwn2Own Automotive 2025 in Tokyo, security researchers demonstrated 16 unique zero-day vulnerabilities in various automotive technologies, earning a total of $382,750 in cash reward prizes. So let's go over some of the key exploits that they found. A group found a stack-based buffer overflow exploit, which they could allow to then take over a charger for a car. What could happen is the charger could then be loaded with malware to then either load into the car to prevent it from charging or do some other malicious things of taking over the car. Or if this charger is connected to an external network, it could be then used to then take over that network, which is very scary to think about. They also were able to find hard-coded encryption keys in some of these chargers too, which would allow them to install malware or other programs much easier, because with these encryption keys they can get full access to the firmware and whatever devices and programs within the EV chargers to then manipulate it to then either block cars from charging again, or install malware onto the cars, or to jump into other networks. It's just another way for attackers to gain access. These manufacturers need to be more mindful of these encryption keys and not to make it so easily accessible to the attackers. Luckily, most of these exploits were found in this competition, but there's no saying that the black hat hackers don't already know these things. So the point of the Pwn2Own is to raise awareness of these vulnerabilities so that manufacturers can know about these issues and so that they can fix them. The takeaway for this is, as vehicles become increasingly digital, the risk of cyber attack grows. Pwn2Own Automotive 2025 reminds us that staying ahead of cyber threats requires constant vigilance and collaboration between researchers, manufacturers, and cybersecurity professionals. And another clear takeaway is maybe these connected cars are not ready for prime time yet, until the security becomes more stringent and these vulnerabilities become less and less. So until then, I recommend probably staying away from these smart cars until they're able to get their security in order. So with that said, this wraps up today's episode of Simple Cyber Defense. If you found this information useful, don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with others who care about cybersecurity and privacy. Have questions about topics you'd like me to cover? Reach out, and I'll be happy to discuss them in future episodes. Stay safe, stay informed. Until next time.